Welcome in, hockey fans. It's another ITHSW WCHL Game of the Week. As you can see behind me, I'm at the beautiful Boulder Rec Center, the University of Colorado Student Rec Center, to be correct. Big matchup tonight, Thursday night game between the University of Colorado Buffaloes and, of course, the University of Utah Skating Utes. The Buffaloes playing their first home game of the season and looking to get their first win of the season. Well, the Skating Utes come in with a 2-1-1 mark. All games in the conference for them. For the Buffaloes, just 2 games. It's a brisk 42 degrees outside here, but I love this place. This is such a beautiful sight to come to. So we're looking forward for a big hockey game tonight. We'll be right back in about a minute and visit with the 2 coaches, Morgan Feenie from the University of Utah and Benny Tollar from the University of Colorado Buffaloes. We'll be right back. Well, welcome in, hockey fans. It is another ACHA, ITHSW, WCHL Game of the Week, a Thursday night game. The head coach of the Utes is with me. 2 weeks in a row, you guys have garnered up the Game of the Week. So congratulations on that.
Thank you. I appreciate the support there.
Okay, so you guys got off to a really good start against some really good teams. You saw the best of the best. You saw the 2-time defending champions of the league on your home ice. You traveled to Vegas. You got to see what that was like, playing in a midnight game, and then a real battle on game 2. Tell me about the Utes. Tell me how things are right now.
Yeah. I think when I was on the podcast a couple weeks ago, it feels like a couple weeks ago, actually.
It was.
Yeah. I mentioned our team's very young. We are still in the process of learning our systems. The first 2 games we came out, we stuck to our game, performed really well, was proud of the boys, and then we came down to Vegas, and I think that long trip kind of wore on us a bit, and then adding a midnight game on top of that, we started to break down and not play our game, and then eventually the next day we came out flying again, went up 3-1. Fortunately, had some bad penalties, got into penalty trouble. They tied it up, and we ended up losing it in overtime. But it all comes back to us just playing our game. We are a young team, and we're trying to get to that maturity level of being able to play our game regardless of any setting. And I think that midnight game with all those fans and and all the noise going on might have gotten to our young players a little bit.
So I'm guessing you take a lot of good things away from it, though, right? You got things to build on. You got ways that you can show them this is how you need to perform, and maybe get that home ice advantage where you're at again, too.
Absolutely. Even though it was a 5-2 game with an empty netter, we had 6 posts that we hit. None of them actually fell the right way, but could have been a completely different game that Friday morning, I guess it's considered. But Saturday we came out and played a much better game, and we're competitive, and I think the better team that day, and just fell short in overtime.
Okay, so tonight you got the Buffaloes.
Yes.
They're winless, but they took a pretty good game to Iowa State last weekend. Yep. What do you expect out of the Buffaloes here in their home opener?
Yeah, I expect high things from them. So I told the boys right before we left from the hotel, despite their record, take a look at the teams they played. They played Iowa State and Central Oklahoma, taking Iowa State to a 3-2 game. We're expecting great things. We're expecting a fast team. I'm not going to lie. I listened to your podcast last night and listened to their captain. So we're expecting the speed that they're going to bring. And obviously, I told the guys, stick to our game plan, stick to our process, and we should be able to hang in there with them.
All right, final question for you before you get started tonight is your thoughts on being in the WCHL now that you've seen a couple of teams. I'm guessing you think it's pretty good.
It's amazing. I couldn't be more proud to be in the WCHL. I think the teams that we have in the WCHL are top tier, and you'll see a lot of them in the national championship tournament. And it's just a great honor to finally be in a conference where the level of competition is that high.
Well, I tell you what, I told everybody that'll listen to me like I told you off camera, if don't sleep on the Utes because they'll take it to you if they get a chance. So good luck tonight. Good luck the rest of the way. And congratulations on 2 weeks in a row of being Game of the Week. I like it.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Morgan. That's Morgan Feenie, folks. We'll be right back with the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes in 2 minutes. Well, it's another ITHSW WCHL Game of the Week. I'm here in the beautiful rec center in Boulder, Colorado with the head coach of the Buffaloes, Benny Tollar's with me. Gosh, Minnesotans.
Yeah,
we get
right?
together. We might be here for a couple hours.
It's going to be like a 4-hour interview right now.
Okay, Coach, home opener. How pumped are you to get a shot at Utah on the home opener?
Well, I'd say, first of all, just, 2 years in waiting almost, getting back to our home ice and playing a game. There's just so many implications and stuff for our team and for our school. So first of all, that's kind of what's on our mind. It's not just our singular focus on that. It's just starting out. Good first game back. Like, great to be in the rink, getting all the kind of the basic stuff that we do to get started. And then to play a great team to start off, too, our first home opener. We didn't want to come out easy. So we got our hands full tonight for sure.
Well, Utah's already played 4 league games. You guys have played 2, but you came off of a big weekend at Iowa State. I thought you played very well Friday night. Nearly beat that team. Maybe should have beat that team. So what do you expect out of your guys tonight?
We've got a really resilient group. We had a great week of practice. I think it's hard. You start losing some games. Like losing breeds that insecurity of, are we doing it right, or what do I need to do better, what do we need to do better? And I just feel like we had to just kind of dumb it down, go back to the basics, why we love hockey, why we like to learn, all the stuff that we need to do. I felt good in both of our games. Like when we started out with UCO, I felt we did some really good things, but then we had some epic breakdowns that, and good teams don't do that. And then we would get up on teams that were strong, and they don't panic. They just settle into their game, and those are just things that we have to learn. We're pretty young, so I just, you got to get into the game to learn these types of lessons.
I had your captain on the podcast last night, and he was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, I knew he would be.
But Utah follows the podcast pretty closely, so
Yeah,
they were listening for a scouting
they were,
report,
they were there.
and they said, we understand this team's pretty fast, pretty quick. And he said the same thing you just said. He said, I felt like we played with everybody, we had opportunities, and then all of a sudden we had a couple of breakdowns, and next thing you know, they scored 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, that's exactly to say. We had, you always look at it like system-wise. Are we able to run our systems? Are they working? Then you look at your personnel. Do we match up? And I feel that we do. So I think just that mental, staying in the game, staying on top of it. Like I said, experience, time. I mean, just there's not a lot that changes about your body and your game necessarily from the start of college to the end, but you become more confident, you become smarter, you get into situations, you don't worry quite so much, you settle in, you keep the young guys in a good spot. So this is all about growth. Like I've had a lot of people say this to me that really stuck was, did you win or did you learn? So we took from this that we're learning, and that's part of it.
I hear you. Well, it's a big one tonight. Every game in the WCHL is going to be a big one. I've told you that, like I've told everybody. I believe from top to bottom at the end of the year, people are going to look back and go, the ACHA D1 best conference belongs to the WCHL from top to bottom.
Yeah. Well, I think we could be that as well, but I think if you ask every coach and every team, we're focusing on Thursday night, and we'll worry about the end of the year at the end of the year.
All right, Coach. Go get them tonight. Good luck on the home opener, and we'll be back with some game action.
Yeah, hope so. Thanks.
welcome in, folks. We have an intermission guest. We've got the assistant coach here at the Colorado Buffaloes. Trace Jablin is with me. Trace, welcome in.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. This is new for me. First year coaching, first interview, a lot of firsts, but I'm excited.
Get used to it. This is the ITHSW WCHL Game of the Week. We pick one every week. I'm sure this won't be your last one. Okay, where do we start here? You guys have had 2 conference games, 2 non-conference games, but both opponents are top 10, maybe better. Your thoughts on what you've seen so far?
Honestly, I've been, don't tell the guys I said this, and I hope they don't hear this, but I've been really happy with how we've played for the most part. That's our big thing right now, is just being consistent for a full 60 minutes. And really what it comes down to is just the guys believing in themselves, because one penalty, one thing doesn't go our way, then we start fumbling the puck a little bit, but we have a lot of talent, we have a lot of speed, and we just need to know that ourselves. We need to realize that.
You can hear in the background, folks, the Zamboni getting out on the ice. But so when you look at that and you're building confidence in a hockey team, it's a process, right? It doesn't happen in the first 2 weeks. How do you keep the guys confident even though you might lose a few?
I think it happens during the week in practice. Like we work them hard. We got a lot of young guys, and they come to the rink and they want to work. But you got to have some fun too, and you got to remember how to score. So like this week, me and Coach Benny, we wanted to incorporate a lot of scoring drills to, get that finishing touch in front of the net, because we got to bury more biscuits. It's a simple game. We don't want to overcomplicate things, and that's what we're telling the guys. Play your game. Play how you need to play. Stick to our system, but you have freedom to be creative out there.
Okay, so we talk ACHA hockey. It gets a bad rap. I mean, I have a podcast that I have to call Club Hockey. I hate it. I wish I could call it ACHA, but until they give me permission, I can't. But the dedication it takes to be an ACHA D1 hockey player is pretty incredible, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's a grind. So when I was a player, not too long ago, I played Division III NCAA before coming over here. And to be honest, I had that notion like, oh, it's just club hockey, like whatever. I came out here for tryouts, out of shape, and I got my ass kicked. Oh, sorry, I got my butt kicked. And I was like, okay, this is the real deal. So yeah, there's a lot of good players in this league, and I'm just like grateful to still be a part of it.
I'm going to tell you there's going to be more too, because with the pandemic and what the NCAA and the ACHA did by granting extra years, there's a lot more players than there are lockers at the NCAA Division I level. A lot of those guys got to find a place to play, and I think they're going to filter down. Maybe next year we'll see a bunch of them. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think honestly it's great. As much talent as you can get in the league, it's awesome. The guys who didn't come from as talented of a background or whatever it is, they're just going to raise their game up to that level. So I'm all for it.
Okay, that's between the first and second period here. I'm not going to give anybody the score yet because we got a little secret going on here. But Trace, thanks for joining me. Keep this program rolling, okay?
Will do. Thanks for having me.
Well, welcome back in. It's another Ice Time Hockey ITHSW WCHL Game of the Week. I got the captain of the Utes. He's got a smile on his face because it's a 6-4 win, 3-1-1 to start the season. Alex, tell me about it.
As a tough game out there. It's back and forth the whole, first two periods. We went in there going 4-4 and showed a lot of grit there to get it done in the third period and come out with a 6-4 victory.
You guys keep going under the radar, but I said at the beginning of the year when I talked with AJ and I talked with your coach Morgan, I said, don't sleep on the Utes because they're gonna bring it. Oh, yeah. You're bringing it. You guys like being under the radar still, though, don't you?
Oh yeah. This is my, 6 years since I got here. My first year was the first year of D1 here, and we've definitely taken our lumps and bruises. But we have a new coach this year. He did a great job recruiting. It's definitely the best recruiting job we've done, and we have a lot of good young guys that came in, and we're starting to show it, and we're going to make noise the whole year.
Tell me about the WCHL, because I know how good it is, but you guys have seen Arizona, the two-time defending champion. You've seen UNLV. Now you've seen Colorado. How good is this league?
You have to bring it every night because, all the teams here can win. They all know how to win, and this is our first year joining the WCHL. We've played all the teams, over the years, but you got to bring it every night, otherwise you'll end up on the wrong side.
So tell me the secret to being able to go on the road in the WCHL. It's not easy because you got to bus it. You got to be prepared. A little bit of bus legs to start tonight or no?
Yeah, we bussed in last night. We got in about 4 a.m. Got in a little late, had some road issues or some snow. But we got here, you try and get your rest during the day, and I think it could have led to kind of a flat start there and kind of rough start in the first period, but we kind of figured it out, and we're ready to go tomorrow.
How nice to have your specialty teams go to work for you and get 2 short-handed goals, right?
Oh, yeah. That's huge. Whenever you can kind of steal a power play away and get the shorthanded, that kind of swayed things a couple times where I think we were even down and got tied back up with a shorthanded goal.
So it's 3-3 after the first period. It's pretty wide open, and then both teams, I thought, shut each other down pretty much all the way until you guys got 2 quick ones midway through the final period. Then they threw everything they had at you for the last 3 minutes. What was that like?
Oh, yeah. I was in the box there, and we had a 6-on-4, which is kind of scary whenever you have 6 guys going against 4, but hopefully you're always hoping you can get it and ice it down and make a goal. But they brought it hard. We were pretty much in our zone the entire 2 minutes there on the kill, but our goalie stood in there and had a few block shots, and we were able to kill it off and get the W.
So what do you have to do to get the sweep?
Now we know what we got to do. We got to, not come out flat again and just bring it, play Utah hockey.
You heard it, folks. That's the captain, Alex King, with me after a 6-4 victory right here at the Rec Center in Boulder, Colorado. Thank you, Alex.
Yes, thank you.
A barn burner, to say the least. It's a 6-4 victory for the Utes. I got the head coach, Morgan Feenie, with me. So, Coach, you don't seem overly excited, but a win's a win, right?
Of course, anytime we can get 3 points, it's a victory. We were running around at the first period. Second period, we weren't sticking to our systems. Third period, we finally started playing our game, and things started clicking, and that's kind of when we saw the success.
Specialty teams, thoughts? Shorthanded goals were pretty nice.
Yep. Yeah, our penalty kill, we started to be a little bit more aggressive and start pressuring them, and it seemed to translate into turnovers, which then we were beating them down the ice, and we were just finishing, which was good to see. Anytime we can get shorthanded goals, it helps for sure. So, no, good to see. I was happy with our penalty kill. Our power play, again, we're still ironing out some wrinkles, but overall, the special teams I was pretty happy with today.
Who stood out to you? You know these guys better than I do, but who was the guy that stood out tonight?
I'd have to say number 29, Benji Mickle.
Yeah.
Guy works his tail off every time he gets on the ice and brings the level of intensity. And my speech to the guys after the first period was, I'll go down to one shift or one line if I have to, but the intensity's not there. And he kind of led by example and got us to where we needed to be in the third period.
So the obvious question is, what do you have to do to get the sweep?
Exactly what we did in the third period. Again, if our guys just from the get-go stick to our systems, play our game, stay out of the box, I haven't seen a team that we played against that we couldn't beat 5-on-5. So confident in our guys. We just need to stick to our systems, believe in ourselves, and come with intensity.
All right, final one for you. Your thoughts on the Buffs and the WCHL again? You'd never know they were winless.
Yep. No, I said it before, and these guys are coming in 0-4, and obviously they pressured us and they outshot us. They had less turnovers than us, so on paper they outplayed us tonight. Again, I'll take a win whenever we can, but props to them. I think they did a great job in their scouting report and the way that they challenged our systems. It was very impressive. Props to the coach.
Well, 3-1-1, not a bad start for a team that's still unranked. That's got to change, but we'll find that out in times. I'm sure you're going to just look at the record though and go, we'll take the points, right?
Of course. Yep. Again, stay under the radar until the computer takes over. That's fine with us.
Morgan Feenie, congratulations on a great win. Good luck for the rest of the way.
Thank you, Scott.